Plastic in Our Foods by David Johns. Most people would say that their foods do not contain plastic chemicals. However, recent studies have shown that the chemical azote dicarbonamide, or ADA, a key component of plastic and rubber products, is routinely baked into bread to make it firmer and more durable for long-distance travel. Plastic does not have to be intentionally introduced into food to get into what we eat. Plastics from containers, packaging, and plastic wrap leach into foods they come in contact with, particularly when they are microwaved or otherwise heated. Packaging on foods and plastic products can contain small amounts of carcinogenic substances such as lead, cadmium, and DOP, and studies have shown that these chemicals that mimic hormones can cause low sperm count in boys, irregular menstrual cycles in girls, and early puberty in both. Plastic has harmed organisms because of the traits that humans value: durability and flexibility. One example of this is the consumption of plastic bags by turtles. Often, when plastic bags are thrown into a river or sewer, they reach the ocean, where they are mistaken for jellyfish and eaten by turtles. The turtle is suffocated by the plastic and dies. Similarly, penguins and other marine organisms have eaten six-pack rings or simply been strangled by them. And yogurt containers have been reported to have suffocated raccoons and other small animals, where the animals will squeeze their heads inside the container and then will be unable to get their head out and will suffocate. Currently, so much plastic has been thrown in the ocean that there is a Pacific island in the Pacific. Plastic island in the Pacific. This island has been dubbed the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and is so massive that it is visible on some maps, specifically so that boaters and fishermen can steer clear of it to avoid being sunk by the large amount of plastic that batters their vessels. The main environmental issue with plastic is its inability to biodegrade. It doesn't break down, and therefore is naturally unrecyclable. While it can be reused by humans or animals, it can't be broken down into its original components and be made into something new. Because of this, when plastic products are thrown into the trash, they end up causing blockage in waterways, poisoning water, getting accidentally consumed by organisms, and polluting the air. Even the process of creating the polymer or plastic product can create carcinogenic fumes, and these aren't contained within the factory or laboratory. Over the years, there have been multiple lawsuits against plastic companies for the exposure of employees to these harmful conditions, but very little evidence has been given to prove that plastic harmed the atmosphere. Because of this, there has been very little restriction toning down the amount of pollutants that enter the atmosphere. The substances exposed during manufacturing often stay in the plastic, and when the plastics are thrown away and end up in rivers, lakes, ponds, and other waterways, the toxicity of these areas increases dramatically. The water becomes undrinkable, and the bottom feeders, as well as many other organisms in the area, die. Because of this, the ecosystem of the waterways collapse. The most widespread danger in the health threat posed by plastic is the initial manufacturing process. Factory workers who process plastic are routinely exposed to a number of toxins. Lead, cadmium, mercury, and DEHP, a carcinogen known as DOP, are just a few of the chemicals that workers often encounter. The processing of ADA in factories has been proven to cause skin irritation, asthma, and various other respiratory symptoms to anyone working to produce the product. ADA has several other uses, including various plastics and synthetic leathers. Currently, BPA is the most harmful chemical absorbed from plastic. It is commonly found in food packaging, and has been linked to higher rates of breast cancer, early puberty, and prostate cancer. There are further and more pervasive health consequences for anyone who comes in contact with the plastic after it leaves the factory. The most direct way in which plastic enters our bodies is the one that has been featured in news reports most recently. when plastic-related chemicals are added as an ingredient to the foods we eat. Around 131 companies in the US, including Subway, have been using azodicarbonamide in their foods. Wheat products are most commonly injected with this chemical, but other foods have been as well. The chemical is only used in trace amounts. Only 0.0045% of the actual weight of the food is ADA, but it's still significant. For protective measures, consumers can throw plastic away instead of littering it to help animals. To prevent air pollution, reusing plastic products instead of throwing them away will help. Stop buying bottled water. Use metal eating utensils. Instead of buying hand soap containers, use reusable ones. Use biodegradable matches instead of lighters. Specifically to help the issue of ADA in foods, we can petition bread corporations to remove it from their food. Until we do, we can stop buying the bread that has ADA in it, which is almost everything. Several ADA companies are listed here, but if you get your bread from anywhere different, then you can go onto their contact form and simply ask them if they have any wheat products that don't contain ADA. If they do, then buy those. Ignore the rest. Thank you for watching my presentation.